It's possible. Okay. I just don't remember that.
Well, without a sign-in sheet,
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta listen to them say their name and
No, for sure.
hope I get it right.
Just wasn't sure.
You ready? You guys ready?
Yes, sir. Wherever
Yes.
you are.
At 6:30, we're going to call Legislation Codes Committee to order. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Neff?
Here.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Schauber?
Here.
We have a summary of proceedings from
The 6th of June.
June 6th of '25.
I move we accept the minutes as submitted.
I will second that.
Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Neff?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Tonight, we have one item of business, and that's simply a charter discussion. We're happy tonight to welcome Gary Hunter with the Ohio Municipal League is here and most likely can answer questions that we have going forward this evening. So honestly, I would like to start, if you have any remarks before we start, or could we just start asking questions? How would you prefer, Mr. Hunter?
I've been here, this is the third time I've been here to talk about charters, but I looks like different people. To give you a little bit of background.
Could you just please come up to the podium?
Yes, my name's Gary Hunter. Right now, for the last 10 years, I've been general counsel for the Ohio Municipal League, but I'm also the executive director and general counsel for the Ohio Municipal Attorneys Association. And I've been practicing local government law since 1977. This is my 51st year of practice, and charters is one of the things I go around and talk about. My purpose tonight here really is to answer your questions as best I can. What you have, there was some submitted to me in advance. I'll do those first. I'm not here to tell you to do a charter. I'm not here to tell you not to do a charter. I'm going to try to set up a procedure that you can do. I did look at your ordinance, and there I might make a couple of suggestions to that if you're going to go forward to adjust that to make it a little bit more easy to get it on the ballot. But really, your law director is your legal counsel. I'm not here as your legal counsel. I'm here really as a representative of the Ohio Municipal League and the Ohio Municipal Attorneys Association. So, if you don't mind, let me answer the 3 or 4 questions that were
Please.
submitted in advance. First question was, let me get back up and tell you a little bit about Ohio and local government law. Prior to 1912, Ohio system of government for local government was all through the state legislature. State legislature enacted laws that allowed municipalities to do various things. It didn't work out very well in 1912. People of Ohio decided to put the right of home rule on the ballot, and it became a provision in the Constitution, the strongest possible place for it to be. As a result of that, the right to have a charter is a constitutional provision. Therefore, the state legislature cannot block you in doing that. In recent years, probably the last 10 or 15 years, in my opinion, the Ohio legislature has moved more and more towards controlling local governments, more and more of their activities under various doctrines. And the court system has allowed them to do a lot of that. So it's a constant battle that goes on. If you have a charter, you're going to be able to get around some of those situations. There's no real hard statistics on the number of municipalities that have charters. My best guess is about 60% of municipalities the size of Marion probably have charters. There are exceptions to that, Athens being one of them. They're about the same size as you, and they're still a statutory form of government. The charter allows you to design basically your form of government that you want it to be that fits best for your municipality. And there's strong mayor form of government, which is statutory kind. There's weak mayor form of government, there's council form of government, and there's a committee form of government. Or you can do any variation on theme of those things that you want to do. There are other variations on the theme that you can do if you do a charter. The way the process works is there's an ordinance that passes that brings up the question of shall there be a charter commission formed. The second part of that question is you have to elect 15 people to be on the charter commission. The Constitution is already split with 15 people. You've got to get 15 people on the charter commission. The charter commission then designs a charter to be back on the ballot the next November. Mike, I was talking to you about that earlier. It's a really close timeline. You have an election in November, that's going to happen in December. You start work in January, you've got to have it done by July to get it back on the ballot. So that's the way the process works. If people, if they say they want to have a charter commission, then they vote on the charter members. There are 15 of them. They design the charter, comes back to people vote either up or down. Charters can be amended anytime you want to amend them, so you're not stuck at the point the form of government you decide to enact. Doesn't work, you can amend the charter and make adjustments to it. Now let me ask you the question, and I'll answer your question. One of the questions would be, who can run for a commission? The Constitution is not very explicit on that. My advice to people is council members should not run, because council members have to provide financial situation, they have to vote to put it back on the ballot. You have kind of conflict if you run for it. However, administrative people like the mayor, the auditor, treasurer, service safety director, or service director, all those people can run for the charter commission. You set the standards for being a candidate. I noticed in your ordinance, you've got 25 people signing up to bid. I'll probably recommend you go down to 5. You can set whatever you want. And
I'm
you
sorry,
wanna-
can you speak up? Yeah, please.
well, it's kind of hard to address the
I know,
council, but I could do that. Usually I keep the number down to around 5 or so that you can get easy, if you have 5 people, they come to a council meeting, get signatures, they're on the ballot. You can also put a provision in your legislation that says if you don't have enough people that are, it'll be 15, the council can nominate other people to go, so you can make sure you have the 15. That's another change I would probably have you do in your legislation if you want to go forward with it. So that's who can run for charter commission. It's just my recommendation. Can a charter be repealed by a referendum? You got to remember, referendum is a review of legislation that council does if you don't have an emergency clause. If you have an emergency clause, there's no referendum. Technically, the answer might be yes if you don't have an emergency, but enacting it here in July, you got to have an emergency, it won't get on the ballot. You got to have to wait 30 days if you don't have an emergency on the legislation. So the answer to that is no in this situation. Can they repeal it? Yes, by an initiative petition, which is just the opposite situation. Does a slate petition appear on the ballot as a slate or as individuals? The law is not real clear, but it does talk about the top vote getters doing it. That's up to the Board of Elections, but it'd be my impression that even if you have a slate, they're going to be listed individually and with the top vote getters in doing it. But up to the Board of Elections. When can petitioners start circulating signatures? That one already came to me. I would not have people circulate petitions to be on the Charter Commission until the council adopts the legislation putting it on the ballot. Because otherwise, there's nothing really that justifies circulating the petitions. So that's the questions that were asked of me. Oh, I answered the question yet.
Once again, thanks for coming tonight, Mr. Hunter. The one question that I keep coming back to is, what would the time commitment look like for a charter commission member? What kind of time would they have to put in to do this job as far as in the charter writing process?
It's a short time frame, basically 6 months to enact a charter. You almost always have to have outside legal counsel assisting you do it because it's got to be legalese, and most law directors are not familiar with how to do it. It's fairly time sensitive. I view those as public meetings. Ones I've done in the past to helping people, normally say use Zoom or some sort of meeting so people can remote in rather than coming to them. The time commitment is fairly intensive. The way I short and circuit that is usually have committees that do different sections of that you're going to consider for the charter. Have that committee meetings, then I would, if I'm the legal counsel or whoever's doing it, would turn that into legal language for the next meeting of the whole, deal with it, move on, keep it moving back. Essentially, you should have a rough draft by May, first part of May, middle of May, a final draft by the middle of June, and then council will put it back on the ballot by July.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Another question I did have too, just to clear things up. The charter committee meetings would be public meetings, much so like these meetings, correct?
I view them as public meetings. If I happen to be advising people, it would be a good public meeting. That does not mean you have hours of public comment on them. They're basically so they can observe. I subscribe to a short public comments and people then submitting written comments to the commission that they can look at for the next meeting, but don't get tied up with. You have too much work to do to get caught up with 3 hours worth of people arguing over things in the charter.
Okay. What I'd like to do now is if we have questions from the committee, I'd like to turn them over to Mr. Hunter. And after that, we would go to council and then public questions. Due to the amount of people here and the questions that might come about, if the public could do one question each until everyone has had a turn, and we would go from there. So do we have any questions from the committee at this point?
I have one.
Mr.
Okay. There's 15 people max for the charter, and I don't know if you said, is there a minimum amount of people?
15.
15. So
15 is the number. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the Constitution. Those 15.
Okay. That's about the only question I have as of right now.
Mr. Schomburg.
So you have 15 individuals meeting with almost an infinite number of different ways you can do a charter city. How do you focus these people to get that done in 3 to 4 months?
I thought that was last time I was up here and spoke about this was 22, I think. Man, I didn't look that real closely. I thought I gave you, there's a format.
Yeah, I just got this
There's
today.
a format that I go through the various articles that are usually in a charter that and call compasses, and those will be break into the committees structure that I would set up if I were doing it, and then they may say we don't want to do anything with that provision, just don't do anything. If you don't do anything in a charter, you're back to statutory law. So you either do something in a charter and it changes the statutory law, or you don't do anything, that statutory law is basically the way you do all business in that issue. So the way I would handle it would be the committee structure kind of situation.
So basically, whatever legal counsel we would hire outside of our law director would kind of guide these 15
Yeah, very,
folks
very important position, yeah.
through to the end goal of whatever charter this is. Now, will there be any influence given to this legal counsel as to what they want the charter to look like, what the city would like the charter to look like? How does
The role of legal counsel is the same as what your law director did. At least I spent 30 years as a law director, elected law director, and a lot of other time, all that. My role always was to decide what people want done, and if it was legal, accomplish it for them. I did not usually tell people what they had to do, what they didn't have, unless it was illegal. But the other question is, even though I'm recommending that council members not run for the Charter Commission, that doesn't mean that they would not give a lot of weight to input from council on what they're looking for.
And if I may, you said that other elected officials minus council members can, really?
Yeah, a lot of times the mayor's on it, the auditor's on it, yeah.
Well, that would just make it quite the conundrum, because we want, the prompting for this charter is because of our financial status, and then if the treasurer and the auditor's on it, it would get nowhere.
It's a majority vote. 52 of 15, assuming they get elected.
Correct.
And assuming they run.
Any other questions from the committee right now? Mr.
And-
Shaw.
And this is probably out of your wheelhouse, but this will be a low turnout election. Does that have any historical effect on charters being adopted or not?
It's just a comment for me. I don't have any hard statistics one
Right.
way or the other. My guess is what's more important to people is what you're doing. Usually I would recommend, I would recommend once the charter is finalized, that the commission is on the ballot, hold several public meetings in which they explain what they're doing with the charter and answer any questions of the public. You are required to send out the charter 30 days in advance to all registered voters in the city, so they'll see it. But it's a communications kind of thing, and they're going to vote as I was telling Mike here, if you do massive changes, every time you do massive changes, the chances of the charter passing go down lower. And charters can be amended all the time to adjust to what you want to do. So usually you address the basic form of government you want and some changes to the statutory law that really benefit the city, and you do that to begin with. And as other things arise.
And then, Mr. Hunter, as far as amendment process goes, council can bring forth amendments, voters can bring forth amendments, and once again, just like the charter, they would have to go to the voters to either approve or disapprove.
Yeah. Most cities that have charters have a review process of every 5 to 10 years. I believe 5 is a good time frame, just to see how it's functioning, and if there needs to be some changes made as a result of that. There may be something that just drastically you did just doesn't work, then you change it quickly.
And typically, would that review timeline be written directly into the charter or not?
It goes both ways. It
Okay.
can be. It's not
Okay.
mandated to do that, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I do have.
Mr. Schaumburg, yes.
So, I'm trying to play out the timing of if everything passes. So it'd be this year that it would go on the ballot, the question for the charter, which would be 25, and then 26. If it passes, it'll go to the next general election. I'm trying, and then we have elected officials. Will we have the mayor in 26, or is that 27?
27.
27, they're on years for like for municipal.
Municipal, okay. Trying to, in my mind, figure out when this would actually get enacted.
Well, the Constitution tells you that the Charter Commission, if the Charter Commission is formed in November, then it has to be back on the ballot the following November. So if you do it in 25, it has to be on the ballot in 26. Okay? Now, the Charter Commission, though, decides when the transition is going to occur. And you got to pay attention there. So the Charter Commission could say, okay, we're going to vote if it's passed by the electors. We're not going to switch to the charter form of government until 27, January 1 of 27. Or they could say, we're switching as soon as the election results are certified. It's up to the Charter Commission to say when the transition is going to. As long as it's reasonable. I can't say, well, 10 years from now, we're going to go to the charter.
Even if they change the form of government to a strong council and a weak mayor or a city manager, if they say as soon as it's certified, we get rid of our current mayor, and even it applies to auditor and treasurer, if
They
it
do,
changes
but-
there.
Again, legal counsel would be remiss to be told to do something
Guide
like
them,
that.
right.
Because it's almost impossible to implement it, quite frankly. But you're going to know, I usually, if you know the charter is coming up on, you're going to know by August whether it'll be back on, the ballot or whatever. You begin to think about how it's council that's really doing the actual transition situation, hiring people and so forth. So that's where you have the most control, and that's where you have a lot of input with the Charter Commission on how you do it, situations. But it's somewhat, it depends on what you do. I mean, if you only address 1 or 2 issues, it's pretty easy to do the transition. If you redesign the whole form of government, then it's not.
Yeah. And I think that the prompting of this go-around for charters is our elected financial officers, our treasurer and auditor, but we also have a hired position of budget and finance, I believe is the term.
Budget management, director of budget management.
Okay, so how would that play out if we combined those 3 positions? So the commission could say, we want this to be this one position as soon as it's certified, and then council goes to hire that person?
If I might be able to help, what we've done in the last 2 or 3 years is the mayor has had the council adopt a new position, a new director in the city of Marion. The director of budget management works for the mayor, under the mayor, reports to the mayor to assist with the budgeting process. So just to answer your question, in my opinion, the charter isn't going to have any effect on that unless there's some significant change that takes place. And I say significant because much of the discussion has been the problems with our financial, as you mentioned, the auditor and treasurer. And we're trying to recover from not having an audit since 2020. There have been many that have spoke about the charter simply being not having an elected auditor, not having an elected treasurer, and having instead a director of finance. So does that answer your question from the standpoint of what happens to the director of budget management? Nothing in regards to the charter if this
Okay.
couple of changes are made, because that position reports to the mayor.
Yeah.
It's not elected.
But yes,
it depends on what you write in the charter.
correct.
You could write into the charter the qualifications, which I assume is one of the things you're talking about, for
Right.
that position. You could write it in the job description. I would hope you wouldn't get too specific. If you write in what this gentleman's talking about as part of the job descriptions, then you still could add somebody, but the overall person responsible is going to be the fiscal officer. Okay? So you can deal with those issues, but it all depends on what you write in your charter. And I usually don't like charters that are real specific on those kind of things, because it doesn't leave me to do it. But you can always, create new positions to assist, elected officials if they think there's a need for it, and you agree there's a need for it. So you probably have that right now if you don't have, it's talking to Mike, I mean, right now, the mayor, the auditor, the treasurer, all you have to be is elected of the city. And you can run with the position. You may have no qualifications for it at all.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people go to charters to get, and I hear arguments, well, it's going to be a lot more expensive. We hire a person with an accounting degree, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe not. We've had all this, if you had to hire all this help for them to do their job, you may find out it's cheaper to hire somebody that actually has qualifications to do it.
Anything else from the committee right now?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I'd like to ask if council members or any part of the administration has any questions, if we would go over those now before I open it to the public. Mr. Mayor.
Is our timeline doable?
Oh, yeah.
Or is this a very aggressive?
No, actually, this is what usually happens. Usually, councils don't get it on the ballot until sometime in July. And after that, the timeline is the timeline. So now it's doable, yeah.
Any other questions from council before I open it up to the public? I would just ask the public if we could go one question at a time until we go through the first round of questions. Mr. Dunstan.
Christian Dunstan, 211 East River. I have one question, but it's in 97 parts. No, my question is quite simple. Is it two separate questions that are put on the ballot? So question one, you want a charter city, and question two, these are the people who have applied to be the commission. That is not the same thing. That's two separate questions that are being answered, correct?
Yes and no. Good attorney answer for you. The first question is, shall a charter commission be formed? That is yes or no. If the answer is yes, then you must vote for 15 people who receive the largest votes will be the charter commission. So it is two separate questions, but if the public answers the first one correct, then they have to elect 15 people, and it only takes one vote.
I guess to piggyback off this question, Mr. Hunter, so if a voter goes and votes no to pursue the charter, they still have the opportunity
Yes.
to elect the 15 commission members.
Yep.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Teresa Lepke, 555 Normandy Drive. I have a related question, so I thought, and I asked this when I was at the first reading of City Council, and maybe you changed it since then because I missed the second reading. But I don't understand why we have slates of 5 for the commission or one individual and not just do individual. I still say it's going to disenfranchise voters because you can only vote for 15. So let's say you want to vote for 2 of the individuals. Now you can't vote for 15 because then you vote for slates and then all of a sudden you're only voting for 12 and that's your only option because of the way the math works out. And the council told me that it was required by law to be a slate of 5 or individual. And so my question is that true and why would we do that?
Most people don't. Most of the ones I've seen, there's 2 forms that are provided by the Secretary of State's office. One of them is the individual, the other one is the multi-person one. Honestly, I rarely see the multi-person one used. In my opinion, it's up to the Board of Elections, but if you use the multi-person one, as I said earlier, I believe people will have the right to vote on the individual person that's on that thing.
So it's not really a slate,
That's that's just the way the Secretary of State has set up the process. What I usually see is just the one candidate per petition or council nominating. People to fill out the other. If council nominates, they're going to be voted. That's sort of a slate kind of situation where council nominates. You only have 10 people that have filed, so the council nominates 5 more. So honestly, if you only have 15 and you get 1 vote, that's going to be your 15th situation. So it works its way out. I rarely see the slate used, except by council if there's a shortage.
More questions from the public?
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. How long do people have to file petitions to be part of the committee?
Yeah, it's technically the Board of Elections is going to tell you 90 days before.
But we don't have 90 days before. It has to be
Oh,
August, don't we?
August 6th.
Okay, so we would have from July 14th until August 6th.
Well, yes, but the Constitution says that it has to be on the ballot, and to be on the ballot in November as long as it's not put up more than 120 days or less than 60 days. So technically, you would have till 60 days before the election, which is sometime in September, to do it. Now, the Board of Elections will give you pushback because they don't like that, but that's what the Constitution says. But what I usually would recommend would be council would monitor, and if you get around to August 1st and you only have 5 people filing, then I would do an ordinance and put up the other 10 people or 15 people for them.
Just to piggyback off that, then it would need to pass a majority of council. If only 3 people, public members, decided to run, council decided to nominate 12 people, that would need to go through a council reading for them to nominate the other 12 people.
In my opinion, yes.
Any other first-time questions?
And I'll answer that, but I've never seen it where 15 people really haven't decided to run, quite frankly.
I don't have time to decide, right?
This time frame is used over and over and over again. So. And the time frame's in the Constitution. So.
Could you explain a little bit more of the various forms? You mentioned strong mayor, weak mayor, strong committee, or strong council, but there was, and then city manager, or am I combining that? Because I wanted to clarify.
I'll give you
versions.
I'll give you the 3 most common that people work from. However, I'll point out that the charter is your design of your city government, so you can do whatever you want. The most common ones would be the strong form of council, which council appoints a city manager, council hires and fires a city manager, council's think of sort of like county commissioners, they run everything. That's one form. The other is the strong mayor form of government, which is basically what statutory form of government is. The mayor can appoint planning commission members, blah, 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 those kind of people without just advising council. The weak form of government is the mayor's got to go to council and get council to approve his suggested appointments and so forth. So the mayor's power is kind of reduced. The last one is the commission form of government, and the only city I know of in Ohio that does that is Dayton. And that's really, truly like a county commissioner. You would have 3 or 4 commissioners, and they're everything. Kind of situation. That's very, very rare in Ohio. As I said, Dayton's the only one I can think of that actually does that. But you got variation on the themes if you want.
Thank you. We have any more first-time questions? If not, we'll go back to, come on.
My name is Jennifer Fraser, 481 Elgin Court. I'm looking at this. So your only qualification is you have to be eligible to vote?
To be on the Charter Commission?
Yes. There's no background check, no anything
Oh, no.
like that? So if you have a lawsuit...
Well, there's no background check that's required in the Constitution. There, as far as running for, it's basically a public office. So to the extent there are external provisions about people that can run for public office, could apply. I've never seen that.
So if you have a lawsuit against the city, the police department, the state, it doesn't matter?
That's not marriage.
So if you get on that board, if you have a conflict with our city, then you can weigh in what your opinion is.
The short answer is yes, but remember, it's a majority vote of the commission what goes on. And certainly under our system of government, those kind of people can come to any council meeting and express their views anyway.
Yeah. But there should be some qualifications. And there should, so since it's going to be low voter turnout, like, say, only 10%, why can't there be a 60% requirement for it to pass?
Because it's in the Constitution. The Constitution only requires the majority vote.
So what is considered a majority vote?
Majority
Between the
votes.
yes and no's?
Yeah, the majority vote of those people that vote. Same as any election.
Lois Fisher, 7 Neighborhood. First of all, thank you so much for coming to our community to explain this. And the question is, in your experience, how many are the most you've seen run for this, and the least amount that you've seen run?
Well, the least would be 15.
You've always gotten 15?
You have to get 15.
Okay. But I mean,
If you don't
voluntarily
get,
run.
if you don't get 15, that's why I usually put a provision in the legislation, say if you're not having enough people on council to nominate,
Right.
get up to 15.
But voluntarily, without permission?
Usually you're looking for a broad cross-section of the community, and usually people step up. Usually you're going to have between 15 to 20 people that are running usually.
So you don't normally have 60, 70, or 80 people run?
No.
Just questioning.
I mean, Mary may be different than everything I've ever seen, but I doubt very soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
And it's nonpartisan too, so. It doesn't matter.
Right, thank you.
Sorry. Evelyn, more on this. So you mentioned that sitting council people cannot run, even if they are turning out or not.
I said it's by recommendation, they do not run.
And-
You can do anything you want like that, but you're just setting up potential arguments by people that are just running about it and potential litigation as far as I'm concerned. But all I can do is make a recommendation.
And then would, I guess, follow up on that, family members or of council people would be viewed as
Not
conflict
necessarily,
or
not necessarily.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
Teresa Lepke, I have a question for the committee members. Would you consider changing the ordinance to do away with that slate of 5 or individuals? I just think that is so confusing. And again, it's going to disenfranchise people and encourage people to vote for the slates versus the individuals, because you could get in and not be able to vote for 15 if they're on as slates. Or we need to talk to the Board of Elections and see how they're going to view that, because it just seems really confusing. So why not just do away with it? Would you consider just changing it to have 15 individually elected?
It's my understanding that that's the way it's written in the statute, that we have to have the ability to have slates.
The statute does, it's the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't specifically talk about slates. It's sort of my opinion, that's something that Secretary of State has kind of added into the mix, quite frankly, that you see there. I don't see a problem with saying they have individual, again, but I'm not your legal counsel. I don't see a problem in having just the individuals, as long as you have a provision in there where council can add nominate people if you're less than 15 are going to be on the ballot.
Just simplify it.
I'm not stuck on the slates. I'm just not stuck on the slates.
Because I don't know, honestly, I don't know how this works. It'd be my impression, even if you have a slate, Board of Elections is probably going to break it down into individual vote for each one of those people.
That's how they answered that question at the last city council meeting, and they asked it. It was going to be voted on by slates.
That was the
The Board of
question that we didn't have the
Elections,
answer for.
Yeah.
Is probably going to take the lead from House people. Because it's in the Constitution, the law favors finding a way to get it on ballot. And in accordance with the way that the Constitution is written. The Constitution is written that the 15 members get the highest vote total individually. So they're going to take the lead from whatever legal counsel says.
Craig, please, so understand. You keep referring to legal counsel. What's the typical cost for this whole process?
Well, if the public votes to have a charter commission, council is mandated by case law to provide the funding that's necessary for them. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to have legal counsel, but I've never seen a charter commission function without legal counsel. The ones that I have done, $35,000 to $40,000.
Is that just for your services?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then you got the mailing, printing and mailing of the, but, you know, that's why I suggest like Zoom meetings and those kind of things. If you go to individual meetings, you know, my or another attorney's driving up here all the time, they're gonna charge you quarter costs, and you can go higher than that.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, it says here that city council is kind of requested by the commission to provide camera footage or audio recording and such. So
If I'm doing it, I subscribe to true public meetings, and that means the recording of the sessions and having them available to people that couldn't attend the meetings. You don't, not necessarily required to do that, but that's the recommendation I would make. That's usually not terribly expensive because you already record meetings.
And
I'm sure Matt's up on doing it.
does somebody have to clerk those meetings as well? And
If the commission asks for it, I see no reason why the clerk of council can't do that.
okay. He's out of time.
Gonna make
You
history.
quit talking to me now.
Gonna make history. That's
I
right.
have a quick general question about the commission. If a voter wants to be on the commission, do they have to be a city resident, township, county?
City resident.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Amy Perry, 365 Silver Street. I just want to clarify the financial piece of it. 35 to 40 for outside counsel, 1,000 for outside counsel, typically.
Typically, yeah.
Then we also have the cost to put it on the ballot.
No, if you put it on a general election, there's just your normal cost for, if you do a special election, you're gonna have all those expenses.
Will we have the expense for this election to put it on? in
No
November?
expense.
No, as long as there's,
No
as long as there's
expense.
something other on
It's
the
a
ballot.
municipal election this year. There's no expense.
I didn't know, I'm not familiar with
Okay.
100% of the election laws. So no expense in November. We'll have the expense for outside counsel mailing and all the things that we're required to do before it goes on the ballot, and then free to put it on the ballot because we're having a general next year. I'm just trying to get all the costs associated between now and November of next year, is what I'm trying to figure out. Because we're broke.
Have any other questions? Committee, administration?
Have we had to mail anything out in the past 2 years to every resident in the city of Marion? So we don't even have an idea of how much postage would cost, quite honestly.
I guess my question would be, does it have to be certified mail?
No.
Okay.
I think Clerk
You have
Rose,
you have to mail the complete charter out. So it's, you know, rough idea, probably $1 a piece. I don't know. I mean, like-
our previous clerk in 2022 had a rough, and I mean rough estimate, and it was somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 to mail it out.
How many registered voters do you have?
35,000.
You have 35,000 registered
Oh,
voters?
sorry.
9,000?
Countywide.
Nine?
Yeah.
I was really surprised you got 30.
Sorry.
I think the city's about 17.
I would count it.
Normally, your size would be like 5,000 or something.
Okay. Well, hopefully that was a high estimate that I just spoke of.
Yeah. You
Email would be cheaper.
could- you know,
You can email
See,
us.
email didn't exist when the Constitution was put in place, so.
So it's registered voters only, not residents of the city.
No, it's registered voters.
Registered voters. So, okay.
We got here, here, and here.
Phil Townsend, I went to Jamaica. These 15-plus people, do they serve terms? Are there term limits? And if so, who decides that?
Their work is done within a year. They are elected, they have to have the charter back on the ballot the following August.
And then they're done?
They're done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Mr. Smith and then Miss Lang.
Ralph Smith, Council at Large. Getting back to the mailing, can it do like a household rather than individual? Like if you've got 4 voters in a household, you have to mail 4 or just 1?
I would mail for them. If they're all voters, yeah.
Miss Lang. Miss Lang.
Mine goes also back to the voters. That is just city residents that we have to mail to, that are registered voters, not,
Right.
thank you.
Only city citizens that live in the city.
Any more questions? Committee, administration? I don't think we have any more questions. Mr. Hunter, I truly appreciate you taking your time to come up here this evening.
Yeah, I will submit you those kind of changes to your legislation. If you decide to do them, remember your legislation was back to first reading, you do an amendment, you have to have suspension of the rules, which is 3/4 vote, and then you have an emergency on, which you really need an emergency on, you have to move it out, which is 2/3. And then I think the Constitution requires a 2/3 vote, and we'll have to look at it again, but it passes.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Hunter. We're going to move on to matters not on the agenda.
If you have any other questions, you can submit them in your phone.
Thank you again,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hunter. Do we have any matters not on the agenda tonight?
I do, but I'm not gonna bring them up.
7:12, we're adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Sauber. Thank you.
I literally have my calendar clear until like 9.
So you wanna stay here?
Yeah, might as well.
I'm gonna talk about trash and silos.
This report on the Board of Elections website says we have 19,000 registered voters from precinct, I want A1 through 6F. That's everything, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
My board has 5.
Right.
5 voters?
5,000.
Yeah, I know I thought it was in the 17 range.
Hello, other members of the committee. Oh wait, I'm another member of the committee.
You guys ready?
If you are, yeah.
No, I'm not ready. Now I'm ready. Is this applicant here?
I don't know.
We do not have the survey for this yet, so we can discuss it if it's in the city committee, because I can't write an ordinance.
Let's just give the survey and council.
7:13, call to order the Streets and Sewers Committee. Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. R. Smith?
Present.
Okay, we got a summary of proceedings. Has the committee had a chance to review?
Recommend we make a motion.
I have one thing, the new business, Streets 9, it's listed as a recommendation to reject 3-0. No, it was a recommendation to approve 3-0. So is that motion with that correction?
I was going to say that.
I'll second that.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, new business. Clerk, if you read.
557 Park Boulevard Alley Vacation Request.
Is the applicant present?
Yes.
Mr. Pennington, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you just 557 Park Boulevard?
Yep. So, has everybody had a chance to review? This is off of Park Boulevard at the dead end where, or not dead end, but where McKinley comes in. You've been maintaining this property for 20 years.
Yeah, ever since we moved in there, it's just been a field that's got overgrown and stuff, and I've been mowing it and taking care of it just so this isn't a blight on the city.
In 20 years, how many times has the railroad been down there to access that?
I can't recall a time.
Right.
Mind if I ask a question? So the piece that you want annexed in or vacated, the alley, I suppose, you've been mowing that, I take it, but all the way over, have you just been mowing the entire
I've
field
moved
as well?
I've been mowing halfway of their property to about halfway down on Miami, basically. Actually, with my neighbor's property on McKinley, the backside of his property, I've been mowing from my property over to that edge right there, just basically so I don't have a bunch of rodents and
Yeah.
stuff running through the house and yard.
I drove over there, I think today. There's not even really an alley there. I'm not real sure.
No, you can see a little bit of a rise, a little bit of a berm.
Slightly, yeah. But, all right, well, thank you. I don't have very many questions about this. I see no reason.
I think the clerk just told us that the survey wasn't available yet.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I've got Pops coming when they can get to it. Trying to find a surveyor around here is like,
And you're at their mercy in timeline.
yeah, I had contacted five, actually contacted six. One would call back and said, I can't do it, and he's too busy. Four never replied, and Fox replied and said he'd be within 5 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
Mr. Law Director, do we have to have the survey to send this on to council?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. I have no problems moving this on to council, but without the survey, we have to let it sit in committee.
I figured from what he said, probably about 3 or 4 more weeks.
Okay, and the clerk will reach out, right, and let him know when we have that survey and have you back so we can move it on to council,
Okay,
potentially.
okay, thank you.
Any other matters not on the agenda?
Oh, yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Johnson Street, was that ever followed up on, the circle over there?
Yeah, I brought that up a few weeks ago, thank you. It was taken care of, he did a magnificent job, it looks fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's all I got. Got anything, Ralph?
No, have nothing.
Also, I guess I just wanted to put on the record too, I had a call from a constituent about autistic child sign, and I made a phone call out there, and the very next day they had that sign up. It was Eric Hipsher out there, and I just thought that was worth bringing up. That's pretty cool of him to get that taken care of right away. Anything from the audience? Administration? This we're adjourned at 7:18.
Oh, we stay here, Sean.
Yep, sit right where you are.
I need the police chief, the engineer, the safety director, and the law director. Traffic commission.
Before 5.
He is.
We get around the table. Go down here, can't talk to you.
The good thing is they cooperated, so I told him this number of suggestions.
Oh, it's
You're always right. No. I don't think it matters.
Musical name tags.
All good?
Yep.
7:19, call to order the traffic commission. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr.
Present.
Mr. T. Smith.
Here.
Mr. R. Smith.
Present.
Mr. Cowell.
Yes.
Mr. Shetler.
Here.
Chief McDonald.
Here.
Mr. Russell.
Present.
Okay, we have summary proceedings. everybody had an opportunity to review.
I move we accept as submitted.
I'll second with one change. Under the summary, minor change, you've got Mr. R. Smith listed twice. I think one of those is Mr. T. Smith.
I'll have to go back and check, but I believe you're right.
Mine says, oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
Other than that, I'll second.
Take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Cowell?
Yes.
Mr. Shetler?
Yes.
Chief McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Russell?
Yes.
I don't see the citizen that requested this here, but they had some issues at one of the meetings. It was somebody from city planning, actually, and he was bringing up the issue of speeding on Superior Street. And that's why we called this meeting, if we had any suggestions, but I assume that citizen would have been here.
I think some of the problems were in the alley between Erie and Cleveland, down to Superior.
No, I think he was saying they were blowing every stop sign down
Oh,
Superior.
they do that too.
Miss Lang, that's in your neck of the woods.
City Council, Fourth Ward. I believe his complaint was they start at Prospect Street and head all the way down Superior until they reach Delaware Avenue going through stop signs. They don't stop, and they drive in excess of speeds 50, sometimes 50 miles an hour. It's like a racetrack. But I've also had a constituent reach out to me, and it's the same problem on Duluth from Blaine all the way down Duluth, across Prospect. I mean, the only thing that stops from Blaine is the stoplight on Prospect Street. So, and 2 years ago, there was a child that was hit on Superior Street. So it is an issue, and we don't want more kids hit. And there's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. It's summer, they're riding their bikes, and something needs to be done. I mean, the police, they sit in the parking lot there on the executive building or whatever it is on Superior, the corner of Superior and Delaware. And if anybody sees them, I mean, they're very obviously sitting there, they stop. So, you know, if there's nobody sitting there, they just keep blowing by through the stop signs and such. And three-way stops, they're not working. I don't know if we can put speed bumps in there or little rubble things or rumble things or something that gets their attention and slows them down. I don't know. And there is a bus stop, I know, on the corner of Cleveland and Superior, and there's anywhere from 10 to 15 kids that are there in the morning and then again at 3:30, 4 o'clock, depending on which time, which school's letting out and the such. It is a hazard. It's been that way for years, and it's getting excessively worse.
Chief, any recommendations?
Yeah, have we done a traffic study yet?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Because I requested one and I was told that there would be one. Amanda Russell, 317 Duluth Avenue. I reached out to, I believe, the safety director last summer because I'm a teacher and I sit out on my front porch and that's when I noticed it in the summer. I was called by Officer Gruber and he said that we would be put on a list on Duluth Avenue. I live on Duluth. So it's a straight speedway. There are literally no speed limit signs on that road. None. And so people just use it as a racetrack and blow through the stop sign, by the way. So, I'm sorry, it's bad, and we haven't had a study because I live on that street. So, I can't speak to the Superior side of it, but we do have, on Windsor and Duluth, we have a school bus stop. There's one, I believe, at either Cherry or Girard, a bus stop as well. And again, straight racetrack down there. Straight racetrack.
So they don't even stop for the school buses.
I mean, I can't say I'm a teacher, so I leave in the morning.
I've seen it. I can say they don't even stop for the school buses anymore.
But I mean, it's My little boys play in the backyard, they can't play out front, and we have a free little library in our front yard. I mean, it's, we try to foster a nice community on our street. But it's very difficult to watch the traffic.
So I would do a couple suggestions. One is, if it doesn't have any speed limit signs, those that we could do easy. The second thing is I think we should do a study on both streets and see. A lot of times what we get is people are driving through here 70 miles an hour, then the study says that they're going 32 and a 20. So I would suggest that, but I have no doubt it's true. I've said this a lot of times. I get more calls about speeding cars than I get about anything else. Like Councilwoman Lang says, when we put a car down there, they don't speed. And then when we move the car to somewhere else that takes care of something else, then the neighbors complain about speed again. I will tell you that the safety director and I just got this same scenario on Bennett, the very west end of Bennett Street, and the complaint is whirlpool traffic after work, on the way to work, and we have had those complaints for years. We go down, we write some tickets, it stops for a little while, and then when we're not there, they come back.
Is that where the radar is sitting now?
Yes, that's where it is now in response to that complaint.
Yeah.
So then the last part of my suggestion is we can put those there, the speed trailers. That's a very temporary fix.
Yeah.
It's a very temporary fix.
Mr. Cal, will you make a call about the signs, speed limit signs?
Absolutely.
And will you arrange a traffic study? And then I'm assuming when we get the results of the traffic study, we'll meet again and try to go from there.
Yeah, they like at least 30 days. They want it to sit there for at least 30 days to record. To get
The traffic study?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. We're bringing up traffic. I don't have a city council member that I can write to and get a response from, but since we're here, I've done my own little informal traffic study in front of my house. Everybody's looking at me perplexed. When I send emails to city council, they never get answered. But anyway, I did my own little traffic study when I saw this was on the agenda at my house. I have a Ring doorbell, and I actually have it set as low as sensitivity as I possibly can, because 57 cars set my Ring doorbell off on Saturday. 57 cars. That's not even every car that passes my house. The cars are going so fast by the time they get to my house, and I'm sure most of you know where I live by now. They're going so fast that when they get to my house, even the speed going past my vehicle is setting off my Ring doorbell. So I'll be glad to send you that footage if anybody wants to see that, because I have 50 cars that set off my Ring doorbell every single day. They are going so fast. I have an elementary, middle, and high school bus stop 150 feet away from my house. So speeding is not, I believe about Duluth Avenue, I believe that. But we're getting whirlpool traffic, we're getting semis, we're getting Kellogg Parkway, we're getting all of that. So school's not in session right now, and that was just the time that I took the count, 57 cars. So there's that, and then I don't know if anyone else has anything else. The $1.6 million grant that we got for downtown, when did that come through Traffic Commission? Don't we need Traffic Commission to study?
James Walker was emailed, and he's not here. He was supposed to bring those suggestions and the concept for that here.
How did we apply for a grant that we never got an ordinance to apply for?
I thought we passed them.
When? It wasn't in Traffic Commission, because your last meeting was.
It's on. It was just passed by council for us to apply for.
When? Anybody know?
We can find that answer and get it to you, Ms. Craig.
Okay, because I went back as far as I could, and I don't.
It didn't go to traffic. I don't think it went to traffic. I think it went to the finance committee.
Because
it was money related to us.
I suppose there's finance.
That's where it went through finance.
It just seems like every other grant that we apply for, we need an ordinance from full council to be able to apply, administer, and et cetera, before we can even apply for the grant. And I'm trying to figure out when this one slipped past me, because I'm pretty sure I would have remembered $1.6 million. But I guess I'll keep doing the research, or maybe someone else.
I can ask.
Yeah, if we could get that ordinance number, that would be great.
Zoe in the
because-
morning.
Yeah, the
Thank
state of
you.
Ohio's waiting on that because it seems like we violated our own, our state law by not getting an ordinance to apply for that grant.
Mr. Schauber?
Jason Shelley, President of the City Council. If we could talk about Bennett Street, the far west section, was it Marion and Augusta Road, that section, that's outside the court limit. Is there any way we can work with either Marion Township or the county and reduce that section speed limit? So that they're not going from 45 for that
To
600
25.
yards to the 25?
That's a-
Can that be changed? Because that, I don't know if that's,
So it'd be up to the local government that has that road. If it's a township road, it'd be the township government. If it's a county road, it'd be the county government for that 600 feet or yards.
probably 600 yards every bit. So could someone from this commission work with them, or do I not?
So the traffic commission has a real limited role.
I know.
It's to maintain the traffic control map under the
I'll say
ORC.
a lot of words to just get to the point. I'll call them and ask them if.
I'm sure we'll call, and someone from the administration will contact, we'll find out if it's township or county road. We'll talk with the government that operates that road and make a step forward. I was just pointing out for those in the audience that it may look like we're sweeping these aside, but the traffic commission has one job to do, and that's to maintain the traffic control map. And so we perform that function. A lot of these functions you're talking about are regular committees and council functions.
Or it's just an idea to work with other governments to solve the problem.
You know if that's yours, Commissioner Davis?
I do not know that.
Okay.
I think it's Marion Township.
You're here, thought I'd ask. Anything else from the audience? Administration? Seeing none, hearing none, we're adjourned at 7:31.
Beautiful job, Mr. Barr. I couldn't have done it better myself.
If there's none there, we should have some. There's a speed limit sign called Duluth Force up here.
But I think there's a rule, you gotta have one every so often. Or definitely.
Not, you mean speed limit signs? No, I mean, you begin with the premise that every city street is 25 miles an hour. It's a state approved street or a state street that's 35. And so you don't need a sign on every street. It's in the little book we get.
It's an email I got today, I thought I would print it out for you guys, it's not on the agenda, but it has something to do with one of the opioid lawsuits. Okay. Mark said he's gonna have to look into it, but I figured you guys might wanna know.
How are you? Good. For school board? Yeah.
Did you guys, holy cannoli, did you guys get the applications? Please tell me I printed these off and put them in the back of your packets.
I got them.
Okay. I brought the other ones I had just in case, but I had put them in the back of the packet.
I got Danny looking at the vehicles. And the high grass is on the high
Okay.
grass.
There should be several of them in there. That is an opioid settlement letter. We don't have anything to do with it yet, but you guys might like to be up to date with what's going on. It's apparently a different payout to a different company. Eventually it will be, but not today.
How many signatures does he need for school board?
So I have time.
7. Is it 7 o'clock? Will you call him down?
Seven 7:33, we'll call finance to order. Clerk, will you take roll?
Ms. Lang?
Here.
Mr. Rollins? Present. Mr. Rattler?
Present.
Finance minutes for 6/16 of 2025. I only have one correction that needed to be made, and it's, I think, a typo. It's on page 4. And the next to last paragraph where it says, second sentence, a better way for us to collect bank income taxes, and that bank should be back. So if we could just make that one, because I think that is important. Other than that, I make a motion to accept the minutes with that change.
I'll second that.
Clerk, will take the roll?
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Neff?
Yeah.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, moving on to item number 1, audits 2021, 22, 23. Ms. McGinnis, if you can give us an update on those, please.
Yes, 21 is still work in progress. It's with the state right now. There were a few questions that have been submitted over the last couple of weeks. They've all been answered. 22 is also in progress. Our next deadline for a bulk of our requested documents is due by this Friday, so we'll be working on that this week.
Are there any questions from council or committee members?
No.
Okay, moving on to item number 2. Where are we at with, I still don't have an update on the spreadsheet.
I was working on it before I came down today, so you will have it this, at least tonight. I'll get it to Matt tonight. And there has been correspondence. I got one last week, I believe, that said they needed an additional 60 days to review documents and all that stuff. I think that one was for December 31st of 22, if I recall correctly.
941.
Yes. And then there was a document received today from the taxpayer advocate, just going over the recent activity that they've had. They reached out to the IRS. They're trying to get things to move forward. That letter said we should hear back from them by August 11th. They said in the letter as well that they're hoping to have the issue resolved by November 17th.
You said November 17th? And August 3rd was?
August 11th is when we should hear from them again.
Okay. And that's the taxpayer advocate? What's the name of that company?
It's through the IRS. They're just a separate division.
Okay.
Can I ask for a clarification?
Sure.
When they said the hope is to get the issue, all issues, or which particular issue was that letter on?
That letter was, there were 2 years listed. I think it was 22 and 23, December of 22 and December of 23. I'll have to double check.
Okay, so that's fourth quarter of the,
Yes.
okay.
Fourth quarter of both years, or fourth
Yes.
quarter, first quarter?
No, fourth quarter of both years.
Do you remember off the top of your head what the dollar amount of those penalties?
Not off the top of my head.
Any other questions from committee? Mr. Shelby?
Jason Shelby, Gilbert City Council. Are these the 941s?
Yes.
Trying to think what that amount was. Was that 30-ish?
Well, they're all different, so
Yeah.
They were all different.
So November 17th, we're hoping to have 2 of the 941s taken care of.
That's what the letter says, yes.
The others,
How many do we still have that are pending? How many have been an updated sheet would tell us.
Right, and that's what I'm working on. So once I have an updated sheet, I'll have a better answer for you.
I know it's been well over 2 months that we've been requesting an update, so I would like one, like ASAP.
if I may, one more. expenses that we paid for without appropriation of ordinance towards the end of the year of 24?
It's quite possible. That's why the spreadsheet would be helpful, because they all start to blur together at some
Yeah.
point.
I'm not sure, I mean, I've been reviewing the spreadsheet, and I'm at this point not sure what is and isn't. What's pending, what's not pending, what's been settled, what's not been settled, and an update would help clarify some of that information. If nothing else, then possibly make an appointment with you and sit down and go over it.
I'll have the spreadsheet for you this week. I'm working on it, like I said, so I'm hoping to have it done tonight.
Is there any other questions on this? If not, we'll move on to item number 3. Ordinance 2025-45, designation of deposits. Clerk, will you read, please?
Ordinance designating depositories of public monies of the city of Marion, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this piece of legislation has been back and forth between Finance Committee and Council, and back to Finance and Council, and then back to Finance. So it has now been returned to the committee. I have a couple of questions. I know that we removed some of the banks from, I'm really kind of confused where we're at on this ordinance now.
There's a second ordinance behind it that should have all the updates in it.
No. I couldn't see the difference on which one was which.
The one that has national in bold.
The only changes I know of is we were changing the names of some of the institutions and adding some.
Well, according to the minutes, on page 1, Premier Bank was bought out, and it was suggested to remove it and replace it with Park National Bank. So I don't know, that isn't done on any of these copies that I see. And then, do we have money deposited with Huntington Bank?
No.
So, are we removing that one from page 1?
Yes. And we would put Park National there. Park National.
And then
And also Premier is on the,
it's on the interim,
Yeah,
page 2, and
yeah.
you said you needed more information, and I'm not quite sure what the additional information that you needed.
well, they've been brought out by Bank West or something, but I was taking Premier off totally anyway.
So we need to take them off also.
Yes. In other words, on the active monies, we're taking,
So on the active monies, if what I am from previous meetings, we are leaving Fahey Bank with 35%, Union Bank with 15%, removing Premier Bank and adding Park National Bank at 10%,
yes.
removing Huntington Bank.
Well, Huntington Bank, I'm still working with them. Some way or another, someone, I have to say it, someone took my application off my desk that I had with Huntington. And I've been working with them, getting with them.
So we're going to leave Huntington Bank on there.
Well, we would have to, or the percentages would be off.
Well, I know that. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
So we removed them from the interim, but we're going, do we have deposits with Huntington now?
No. I was thinking about removing them totally in the next administration. treasurer to deal with them, whatever it is.
And if we remove it totally, then again, that's going to change the percentages.
Well, we would add more percentages to probably to First Citizen National or Park National.
Any questions?
I have questions.
Because at this point, for the sake of time and wasting more time, I would say it's going to stay in committee, and we need to get some good legislation before the committee.
Do you have applications?
I do have applications. I have one from Fahey Bank.
Okay.
I have one from First Citizens National. I have one from Union, and I have one from Park National. Do not have one from Huntington, and you said you were working on that.
Yes, because someone took it. I had an application.
Who would
I
have...
wouldn't know.
Do we have one from Fifth Third?
We have an email from Fifth Third that says ORC has changed over the years that does not require a depository agreement with Fifth Third unless the city has deposits with Fifth Third. All of the city's investments are not deposits with Fifth Third. So I'm not real sure.
You only need applications for your active monies.
Okay.
Well, then this whole legislation needs to be changed because it specifically says in here, the application to serve as depositories for the interim funds of this city, which have been received from the financial institutions referred to below, et cetera, et cetera. So this whole legislation is good then.
Christian Nelson, 211 East Marion. So Mr. Rollins kind of answered my question, but I just wanted to make sure that, so when we do the legislation, we're going from 5 banks, we're going to take them out, and we're moving to the list on there had 6.
There's 2 lists.
Yeah.
The new list is 6.
Well, it depends on which pot of money you're talking about.
If you're talking about...
Actually, it also depends on which legislation you're looking at, because this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
So the one from the internet, which is, application has been received from eligible institutions to serve as depositories for the public monies of Marion, City of Marion. That's the one I'm looking at. It says depository monies percent to be deposited up to, and then there's 5 banks.
Yep.
And then it says, where we're going to the new banks, it says names of institutions. There's 6 of them because we added Park National.
Those are interim accounts.
And Huntington's not on there. So I don't know if Huntington's an interim or whatnot. But, so these 2 things are not, we're not going from 5 to 6. We're just showing you, these are the 5 that do this, and these are the 6 that are going to do this.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, just clarify.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was having a hard time figuring out which one of
Well,
these was...
we have to do something because it's sitting here and now we're gonna have we've got 1, 2, 3
copies
drafts that are different of the same ordinance. So we have to do something different than this. And, this gets back to the whole, can a committee amend something? Because if you sit and you have changes, and then you have changes, and you have changes, I don't know how many, I don't know what we're going to end up with in the end. I don't know how we, as a committee, the best way. I think we dispose of this, give it back to the treasurer's office, and have them reintroduce it to us correctly.
Do you want to
With-
make a motion on that?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a motion to table, because then we couldn't bring it
Right.
back. So I don't know, in 20 years, we've never run into this on city council, so I'm not sure exactly how that we proceed, but we can't continue to proceed like this, because we are gonna have a fourth one next time.
Right.
Madam Chairperson, I would recommend that the Finance Committee, because this has a number, it's been amended at council, I would recommend this committee send this ordinance with the ordinance number that's been assigned back to council to be defeated, with a request directed to the treasurer to resubmit to finance an ordinance in proper form to be considered anew.
So can I ask, because, again, we're on this, we can't amend anything, which one are we even sending on? Because I don't even know.
I would say this one, the last one we got.
Well, technically, it would have to be the first one, because it got amended and then it got amended again.
It got amended in council and then sent back. So it would be the second one.
This one. Do you know which one the second one is? Because these two look exactly the same.
And I guess if they follow our recommendation, I guess it doesn't matter, but,
You know which one to send on to council?
I believe it's this one.
This one?
Yeah.
So the motion would be with a recommendation to send it on to council
with a recommendation to fail.
So I will make a motion to send this on to council with the recommendation to
Vote now.
vote no.
Second.
Clerk take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
And moving on to new business. Item number 4, Finance 34 Radio Supply Ordinance.
Ordinance making an additional appropriation within the fire fund for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay, this ordinance was brought by Chief Dean, but he's not here. It's monies received for insurance coverage for damaged radios to put it into.
Madam Chair,
Ms.
since
Coleman.
Mr. Dean, Chief Dean is on vacation, this is one of the radios was broken, and this is a reimbursement from the insurance company, so they'll be able to make this purchase. So it's been deposited into the fire fund, so they'll be able to make the purchase with the appropriation.
Motion is sent on the council with recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Item number 5, Finance 35 Fire and Land Bank Appropriation Amendment.
Ordinance making adjustments to appropriations for utilities and appropriating and transferring land bank funds to enable nuisance eliminations for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Okay, Ms. Courtwright.
I thought we separated the utilities and the transfer for land bank ordinances. I'm not sure about the wording for utilities and that. Number 30 and 35.
I think you gave me a separate ordinance for the
I
utilities.
think we came back and we separated those two pieces out.
Yeah. The title may not be correct, but I think
So that, I just wanted to clarify that. This is land bank money, Fund 251. We do not have any more properties in that account, but those funds can be used for demolition. So we we had originally accounted that in our general fund budget, so I reduced the general fund budget and appropriated it in Fund 251, so we'll be able to use up those funds by the end of the year. And they would be used for the purpose of beautification and demos.
So are we amending the title?
Yeah, we should amend the title because utilities are not part of that.
The one I got still has the utilities in with it.
Yeah, we still have dental insurance and utilities listed as items in it.
Yeah, I only got the one. Because the next one's a pass-through for utilities.
Yeah, that was part of what the utilities language was for, so that just needs to be removed.
Making adjustments to appropriations for appropriating and transferring land bank funds. So strike out utilities and.
Yep. So as amended.
Are we removing? So the 4 items are going to remain, the 3,400 credit debit, 13,000, those 4
So,
items?
yeah, the last 2 lines, the 250 and the 101, those should be stricken out because that,
The 250 and the 101 should be stricken out?
because you can't put money, we need to leave the money in the demo.
Is this in the?
Oh, so the reduction is, yeah, we're reducing general fund and increasing 250. So yes, that's correct. I apologize.
I'm confused now.
This is fine.
So the
Is that what
4,
you're looking at?
so the 4 items are correct as they show on the agenda. The only thing we need to do is amend the title
Yeah.
to remove utilities and.
Oh, no, it's fine, because the utilities were part of the fire. I guess I didn't, I was getting it confused with number 36, which has to do with the utilities, so I apologize.
Okay.
35 is fine.
So 35
35 is fine.
good
We were,
as-
yes, we were reducing, I didn't realize that there are 2 pieces in there, I apologize. So the fire fund, we're reducing some of our salaries, the dental insurance that we don't need because of, that was based on some elections, and we need money in the utilities to pay for some additional costs in the utility expenses.
Are we all clear now?
And then the 250 was moving the money out of the general fund and appropriating it to 250.
Are there any questions?
So we're now recommending
It's good.
0 changes, correct?
No changes to it. Number 36 has utility in it as well, so I apologize. That was a different type of item there.
Motion to send out to council with no recommendation, because I'm confused.
I will second that one.
The confused or the recommendation to go to council?
Both, I guess, but,
We have a question.
Christian Austin, 211 East Fairground. It says land bank, what exactly are we talking about the land bank?
That was an old.
So in 2009, the city of Marion created the City of Marion Land Bank. Was very successful, got huge grants, demolished over 200 homes. Along the way, I can't remember exactly when, 2015, the state legislature changed the funding from the federal government to state government to local government and mandated that only county land banks can receive funding. So at that point in time, the county land bank came into being and has been functioning since then. The city land bank has been essentially selling off the empty lots that are empty because the nuisance structures were removed. And right now, I believe there are 3 lots left to sell. These are monies that were generated from previous sales, and those monies can be reused through this fund to demolish and remove nuisance structures. So with this transfer will be the last monies that were generated from the Marion City Land Bank, very successful endeavor. And they'll go to the safety director's line item, so he can demolish nuisance structures.
So this is pre-2015 money?
Yeah. Well, now remember, it's generated from sales.
Right.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but the city of Marion took title to 50 lots, and we're down to the last 3. We had sold the other 47s through a sale process.
So we're just taking the last 13,000 in that pot of money and putting it in a line item to eliminate nuisance structures.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just making sure you.
Yeah, we're all.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 6, utility pass-through appropriations. Clerk, if you'll read.
Ordinance making adjustments for appropriations for pass-through funds for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
This is for the, do we need to add the word "for" in there?
We can.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Where?
In the title.
Oh.
Ms. Courtwright, do you have any?
This is a correction of an error. When the ACH came in, it looked like a utility collection that we get for our monthly money from the state. It was not. It belonged to utility billing. So we did a check and processed it through our pass-through account, and we just need to appropriate. So it's kind of a wash, but we still needed to have appropriation. So currently, right now, that expense shows a negative balance. So it's just kind of a cleanup. It got charged inadvertently, so we've moved it down to utility billing where it belongs. So that's what they use the pass-through account in the auditor's office for.
Okay. So I'm assuming the word "for" can be a clerical error that will be fixed by the time it hits council floor.
Yeah.
Without any amendment, and I'll make a motion to send this to council with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda says item number 6. It should be item number 7. Finance 37, Strongtown County donation. Clerk, if you'll go ahead and read.
Ordinance accepting monies and appropriating same for use in the Strongtown celebration for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Ms. Courtwright?
This is just amending the original ordinance that we did previously with Mr. Councilman Aaron on that. We now have contribution from the county to support the Strongtown celebration in August. So this is just amending it to allow us to expend those dollars that we would get from the county.
So is this also to receipt the money in?
So we'll receipt it. The receipt automatically happens, that's a deposit that doesn't need appropriations, but the supply would be increased from 10,000 to 20,000 to make the purchases that we need to for the Strongtown celebration.
Is there any questions?
Just a question or two, possibly. New World balance is $10,650.
Yeah, there was $650 in the Lever City department already prior. 10,000 is from the city donation that was already approved previously, so that's where the 10,650 comes from.
Okay. And have we received other donations?
We're in the process.
Okay.
But the answer is yes, we have.
Okay. And we will have to do this with all of them, correct?
Yeah, we would have to appropriate them. Mhm.
Okay.
Any other questions? Recommendation?
Motion to send on with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Clerk, take roll.
Ms. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Any matters not on the agenda? The last committee meeting, we had discussions about vendor taxes, and if you were, Mr. Dennis, you were going to do some research. Have you been able to do any research on those?
I have not, but I will dig into that this week.
And the second question I have is ADP payroll. How is that going?
So our original go live date would have been last Thursday. We had several issues that came up as far as like deductions not being correct and different reports not matching up the way they should have. So we did push it back to the 15th with the semi-monthly payments going out being the first go live date, and then the bi-weekly on the 18th being the second one. So we have about another week and a half before we actually go live.
So were those addressed by ADP then?
They
Or
have
is
been
that
addressed by
something-
ADP. There was a lot of back and forth between my office and ADP to get those questions answered.
Is there any other questions?
Not of her, and I'm not even sure who to ask this to, but my wife was stopped in the grocery store the other day and came home and asked me, and so I said I will pass it along. Had a person that says that they are behind in their sewer bill, and they set up a payment plan with the city. And that when she made her most recent payment, was told at the utility billing office that it didn't matter if she followed her plan or not, it was still going to go on her property taxes, whether she was current with her plan. And I was questioning, is that the policy? And if so, what good does it do anyone to make a payment plan with us if we put it on their property taxes in the middle of the plan, even if they're current on it?
I don't believe that should be the policy, but.
I don't think it should be either, and so if it is, we need to take a serious look at that.
I'm gonna check on that this week.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Jason Sharp, Third Ward City Council. March reconciliation is what's on the bottom of this agenda. It's July. Why isn't this committee getting the reconciliation report? And I would also like to know what the difference between the treasurer and the auditor for the March reconciliation was.
The last report we got was March.
And we should be getting a report from both offices.
And they're due by the second committee meeting of the month. And do either one of you have an answer to that?
I'm just behind on my reports, but I'm planning on getting them done.
What was the difference between the auditor, between your office and the treasurer's office?
I don't recall that number off the top of my head.
$1.8 million, and that's not hyperbole.
Nope.
So we still don't have our stuff together for reconciliations.
Was it 1.8 in April or in
The only
March?
one that I can look at is March reconciliation, that was 1.8 difference.
I've been asking for the reports every month.
Well, the
What
reports,
do you want me to do? There's nothing we can do. It's up to them to provide it. And I've asked for them.
I guess my point is, the reports are not coming in, okay, but when you do get a report, it's off by almost $2 million. When's that fixed? I'm asking whoever wants to fix it. I mean, 'cause this has been going on, Mr. Rollins, like 3 years?
3 years.
3 years? So I know it's not gonna fix tomorrow, I know it's not gonna fix with different roles, but
I'm open to suggestions.
I don't have to do anyone else's job other than I can read the report and I see $1.8 million is alarming. And it's been higher. So, 3 years running strong and not fixing something. Okay, I guess we're not gonna fix it tonight.
Well, I mean, you can't fix it unless somebody's willing to do it. And we don't have a willing participant. So you can't fix it.
Is the willingness not there? Or is the willingness there, it's just not the competence or the know-how to actually do it correctly? Which is it? Or is it a combination?
I think it's maybe a combination.
So how many more meetings are we gonna sit? I only have a few meetings left, thank God. How many more meetings is the council and the future council gonna sit through that there's a $2 million difference between two offices that are supposed to be overseeing our money? And we appropriate money all the time. We have no idea what we're sitting on, or what we're not sitting on. We have no idea if our checks that we're writing are going clear. It's unfortunate.
And it has been unfortunate for a long time. I mean, you sit up here and you complain about it, and you complain about it, realizing we don't have the power to fix it. And so, people run for office, people act like they want to do the job, people act like they're going to do the job, and then they don't, and you have very little recourse.
I'm wondering, so I'm on the Sarah Dyer, 485 North Grand Avenue. How, are those live links for the March reconciliation and the April credit card PDF? I can't, those aren't live links because we don't have what we need for them? Or so how can the public know? Because like when any other item that's on the agenda, it's in red and this is in black, so what's the deal with that and how should I interpret that? There's nothing here, but it's on the agenda.
The April credit card report was active, I believe, and the April budget report was active.
And the reconciliation, the PDF, so we don't even have a copy of that to look at either?
It would have been available back in March and April.
But it's on the agenda, but we can't go back and review it because it was available back then. But it's on the agenda and it's not live.
I will have to see what happened. I've had problems copying this stuff and getting the links to work. Every once in a while, the links kick in and they send you to a 2024 139 ordinance that it's not something I'm linking on there. So when I cut and paste, it comes on. I've had problems getting the links to activate.
So when they do become active, would you let the public know?
Oh, absolutely.
Continue to put things on our agenda and we don't have anything to look at.
I can do that, yeah.
All right, thanks.
So, once the March agenda and the April credit card and the April budget, in the past, they've always gone to the next month's.
Yeah, when I get the next report, what I do is I paste the next report in front of this and then delete the previous one.
Because that was going to be one of my questions. Where is the May report for the credit card? And the May budget is not on here. And then June is actually due by the next committee, so it should be on here, which means we should receive it the Thursday before the second meeting of every month.
The May report.
That's why I moved it to the second meetings, because it was cutting everything short, so.
Yeah, the May report's not on here. I got it like the day of the last set of committee meetings where we had reports, and I had printed them out for you guys and did not get the link updated on this, because this was already out and published.
So I am clarifying with the auditor's office that we, the finance committee, want the reports at the second meeting. So those reports need to be submitted to the clerk by noon on Thursday before that second meeting. The first meeting didn't allow you enough time to close the month out, so we moved it to the second, and we're still not getting reports. So I don't know what else to do. It's hard for us to make decisions when we don't know, like Mr. Schaber said, what our bottom line is. And this has been an issue now for months. Are there any questions or concerns?
$20,000 party.
If not, we're adjourned. 8:15.
That's it, right?
Jason?
As long as you're walking out this way, you're walking out this way.